Sugar. Good evening, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, Queen.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hold on. I got Tony the Tiger calling me. Yes, Miss Tony, you calling me? I'm on the call. How can I help you, Sugar?
Real quick. Carla Williams said that she did everything to be in the group and she paid her $10, but she's not in the chat, so she doesn't have the link. So I didn't want to send it to her without your permission.
Don't send it to her. Tell her to send me a message on Telegram and I'll let her in.
Send you a message on Telegram. Okay.
Right now so that I can see it.
I will.
Okay.
I'll call her right now.
All right. You're welcome. See how that goes, Sugar? Y'all can't wait till the last doggone minute now. That's the reason why I give y'all these motivational clips. Because I know it's always going to be somebody trying to get this sauce. And they don't want to get left out. So y'all see, they calling me as we on the call. So, good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jacqueline Lopez. I am the creator of the Milwaukee Sauce. I am also the co-creator of the 52 Weeks, and it is my honor and my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's call. So, this is our first 12 weeks, y'all. This is class 2, right? So hopefully everybody had a chance. If you weren't on last week's call, which I have to say was on fire, because we always like to start that 52 weeks off, right? So, you know, we had the big dog on the call, right? We had the man himself. You know, we had to start this 52 weeks off right. Let him set the stage, tell us what we needed to know, right? So that we would feel confident that we made the right decision, right? When we tapped into that courage and commitment that we talked about last week. But those of you who couldn't make it, no worries, Sugar. I make sure to record the calls as you see. And we put them in an exclusive playlist. And then I post them in your study groups to make sure that everybody can get the information that they need. And those recordings, I have to say, are very powerful because whether you realize it or not, there are some of our students, our study buddies, who don't have a work schedule that will allow them to get onto these calls with us live. So the only way that they can get access to the information is by plugging into the calls that are recorded. So I think that is amazing just in and of itself, that someone can watch the recordings, get the information, and then go right ahead and still be able to become a master trader. All right, so hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. I'm trying to let Carla in because we want to make sure that we don't leave no man behind, because we know this is one band, one sound. All right. All right, check it out. So, hold on, baby. All right. And then I'm not going to add her to her study group yet, but I'll put her in the main group so she can get the link to the call. Yes, you can. Talk to Chico about it too. Thank you. All right. And there's the pastor. Everybody sees it in the main group. Hopefully somebody can get it to Carla. Tony, if you're on the call, make sure Carla gets it. I posted it in the group. All right, Sugar, let's get this ball on the road. All right. For those individuals who took the opportunity to do their homework, right? I want to make sure that we talk about it. So I need to know, because for those of you who don't know and aren't accustomed to the way that I handle these classes, my classes are never going to be a lecture, y'all. I don't do the dry eye, sad eye, advising guy. That ain't me. So therefore, this has to be a conversation, right? What you get out of this call is going to depend solely on what you put into it. So the more you give, the more you're going to get. All right. With that said, boom. How much is your freedom gonna cost you, sugar? That's the $1 million question that everybody needs to be asking themselves. If you have not already been contemplating on the answer, if you did not do your homework, that is the question that you need to be thinking about. How much is your freedom going to cost you? Right? If you're still working a regular 9 to 5 and you are not currently a part of Team No More 9 to 5, then you need to seriously start taking a look at what you're currently making in comparison to what you think your value, what your worth is, and start doing the numbers. All right, sugar, so I need somebody to tell me who did their homework, who got their number, what's that number look like? What is it gonna cost you every day in order to become financially free? All right, now let me pull up the chat in case somebody said it in there. And then you got to unmute yourself. Who wrote that? Bounce back, Brian. Unmute yourself, sugar.
Hi.
Hey, sugar. How you doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. All right, so it's going to take you $500 a day.
Straight up.
All right. Are you currently working
Yep.
a 9 to 5 or have you?
I work 12-hour shifts.
Oh, good
Yeah.
Lord. Okay, 12-hour shifts. So tell me, sugar, at 12-hour shifts, what are you currently making hourly, roughly?
Right now, I'm making $20.76.
Okay, so you falling somewhere between $100 and $250 an hour.
Yeah.
All right. Did you do the math? Do you know how much you currently make every single day?
Yep. $268.
So you make $268 a day.
Yep.
All right. So at $268 a day, right? Do the math. Let's see. Do I got a calculator? I got a calculator.
It's
Let's do the math.
what are you trying to get? Yearly, weekly? With
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Tell me.
yearly, it's about 50. I just have thinking.
So you right around the 50 mark.
Yeah.
All right, so you need about 50 a year, right? Which is bringing you roughly at about 250, let's just say, to even this out, right? A day.
I got multiple income streams, so I got a little more coming in from other things too. But
right, but if you could replace that,
yeah,
I'm
gonna replace that.
you would. Oh, I like the way you said that, sugar. See, right? You have to be impeccable with your words, right? I hope everybody got that nugget, right? He changed the way I said it to make sure that it reflected how he was seeing himself and his vision. Because you got to remember, sugar, and about how other people see your vision is what you see, right? Because the vision ain't for everybody else. It's what was given to you. All right, sugar. So that's what you're looking at. And that's what your goal is, right? So we're going to talk about how we're going to get there. All right, sugar, since you had the courage to step outside the box and share your answer first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Send me your Cash App.
All right.
I got you.
Let's go.
All right, let's see. Who else we got on here? Let's got some numbers. Okay, so we're looking at 500. Everybody's roughly around the 500, 567, 500, 400, 1,000, closer to 1,000 a day. So you need 1,000 a day. Are you currently making that now, Mr. R. George?
Yes, I am. I'm making that right now.
All right. So you're currently making roughly about 1,000 a day, which is about $125 an hour.
That's correct.
Right. So if we could show you how to get $125 out of the market, right? Faster than in a day, right? Or faster than an hour, right? Get the 1,000 faster in a day, the 125 faster than an hour. Then it makes sense to replace that source of income with this one, sugar.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Cool. So we got 200 a day, 550, 280, 750, 500, 108. But do you see how now that you have a number, a goal to work towards, that it can seem more obtainable as opposed to just basically pulling a number or a rabbit out the hat? You gotta have something to strive for, right? You gotta know where you've been in order to know where you're going. And for the majority of people, they don't come from a family that leads them, right? Some income, right? Or an inheritance or a business. Because let's be honest, you can't will your kids your job. You pass away today, tomorrow. Sorry for them. If you ain't set something up or taught them a skill set that they can actually use to provide for themselves when you're not there to assist them, then sugar, you have put them and yourself in dire circumstances. So the reason why I start the 52 weeks off with focusing in on what your goal is because for the majority of people, most people don't have $1,000 saved up in their savings account right now. There are probably close to 36 million people living in poverty just in the United States alone. Numbers don't lie, sugar. And yet there are approximately a little over 18 million millionaires. Now I know that all of you have been made familiar with one of our mentors, Mr. Bob Proctor, and how he teaches us about the multiple streams of income, and that's the only way to truly achieve any source of wealth. And it's because, whether you realize it or not, we all have the same amount of time in the day, right? Most of us are dealing with 15 or more expenses monthly, and yet we have to figure out some kind of way to use one source of income in order to fulfill all of those needs. So for most of us, we're taught, go to school, get a degree, go into debt, get a good job, hopefully get a wage that will compensate for the amount of debt that you have incurred. But that's not reality for most of us. Hell, most of us aren't even using the degree that we signed up for. And then if you think about it like this, you go from, okay, I got a degree, I got this job, but now I have to work.
52 weeks, I can hear you talking.
Y'all got that? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me? Was that their technical issue or mine?
I think it was theirs.
Okay, great. Perfect. So check it out, sugar. You need to shift your mindset from thinking this is how much I make weekly, bi-weekly. Hell, I even know some people that only get paid once a month and got a budget that monthly one income to cover all of their expenses. What we are doing are teaching you how to shift your mindset from working 5 days, possibly 2 weeks, and then getting paid, to let's work today, get paid today, and possibly work today and get paid continually, whether we work or not. Now that is the goal. But in order to know how to get there, first we got to know what the end result is that we're looking for. So if you have not taken the opportunity to figure out what your goal looks like, it is going to stunt your growth, sugar. We're going to be moving at a rapid rate during the 52 weeks because there's a lot of information that we need to cover. And we only have a limited amount of time with each other each week live. So doing the homework and taking advantage of your study groups is going to be your best friend. Because when we come into these classes, then it's going to be able to give you more that you can piggyback off of and build on top of, because you're going to realize that these classes are built like building blocks, like Legos. So one will build on top of the other. And as we go through this process, you'll start to have aha moments. All right, sugar. So I need to know who I'm talking to so that y'all understand how we're going to transform through this process during this new 52 weeks. Because for the last 2 years, we've only had Forex. This year, we've decided, because IM has introduced these new academies, and we have now access to new tools, technology, and information, that we need to make sure that the 52 weeks continues to complement what we're learning. So I need to know who on this call has Elite. How many people have all 3 academies and is operating under an Elite package?
I have Elite.
I do.
I do.
Dorothy has Elite.
This is Monique.
Elite.
I have Elite.
Feel better, man?
Cassandra has Elite.
Robert has Elite.
Elite.
Kenzie has Elite.
Okay. Do we have
I have the
anybody?
regular one.
Which one? I heard somebody say regular. What's regular?
This is for it.
Okay, so you FRX. All right, we don't do
Yeah.
regular, sugar. You FRX. And please don't disrespect my FRX no more. Let me tell y'all something. FRX is the foundation. It is the past. It is what you need to know in order to understand any of the other academies. If you don't have that foundation, that basis, you are going to be lost in the other two. I'm just going to keep that 100 with you, sugar. Okay, before I get off onto a tangent, see you about to make me go there on you. Don't say that no more. FRX, that's your academy, sugar. Y'all know I love my FRX, and that's why I started, right? We got to know where we coming from in order to know where we going. Stop playing with me, y'all. All right, who else got FRX? Oh, you got HFX? Do we got any FRX?
I have FRX.
Right here.
I'm FRX.
I have FRX also.
Okay, so it's looking at who's got HFX?
I have HFX.
I have HFX too.
Okay, so we got a little bit across the board. So it's looking like we got some people that came in just FRX. We got some people that came in HFX, right? We got anybody in here straight DCX? Silence. So nobody straight DCX. Wait, we got one
No.
DCX?
Yeah,
I was
you
about
have
to say, I guess we all moving to the future at a later time and
Oh,
date. We
yeah,
all in the
it's
past
coming.
or present.
Okay, so we got one DCX and everybody else is a split between FRX and HFX. Is that right? Is that right, logistics? Am I saying this right?
And Elite, because Elite would
Covers them all.
would have
Right.
DCX.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out, because I know that I've been watching the groups and some people are like, well, I don't know what, they trying to make sense of where we going, right? And if they only got access to one academy, I could see how they trying to figure out, well, how am I going to really understand what's going on if I only got access to one thing, which is why I'm trying to figure out who's on the call. My suggestion, sugar, although you guys have started wherever you have started, and this is not to promote the academy in any way, you know, to build the business. If you truly want to become a master trader, right? If you want to have an all access pass, right, to all of the largest financial markets in the world and leave no money on the table, your best option, the one that's going to give you the most bang for your buck, right? That is going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 income streams for the price of one, then Elite is the way to go. I say that because in order to truly understand, right, the history of money, which is Forex, you have to understand that every country around the world has a currency, and every country is doing business with one another. And because each country is doing business with one another, their governments are doing business with one another, which in turn allows their businesses to do business, international transactions, importing and exporting with one another. This is Economics 101. It gives you the foundation of supply and demand. It gives you the foundation of support and resistance, right? You have to understand where the currencies come from, how they started, the history of money, because you have to understand that we didn't always have paper money. It used to be backed by gold. At one point in time, it was silver, right? You have to understand the relationships between these different currencies and countries in order to be profitable, because if you don't, then you don't understand what is actually happening in the market. And whether you realize it or not, you are a consumer who has been participating in this market, right? Every time you go to the store and every time you purchase something online, whether you realize it or not, every time you travel internationally, you participate in this market, right? The only difference is now you are aware that you can make money from those transactions. Now, for those individuals that started with just HFX, money in minutes, that is the current state, right? We want to make money right now, right? I don't want to know about the past. I don't want to worry about the future. I want my money right now, right? And I want it fast. Now, for those that have been playing in HFX, I don't know if you've realized it or not, but all you're really doing is trading Forex, but at a faster pace, on a smaller time frame. Meaning we are scalping the market, right? Using brokers that allow us to trade based on time and not on pips. But you are still trading Forex pairs. So if you don't understand or have a foundation of those various markets, currencies, indices, bonds, metals, and stocks, then how can you truly be successful and graduate to becoming a master trader when you don't have the proper foundation? That's like trying to graduate high school and you ain't went to elementary. Or you trying to skip to college and you ain't passed high school. You set yourself up for failure. Not saying that you can't do it, especially with the access to the tools and the technology that you have access to. But sugar, if you want to step outside the box and become a master trader where you don't have to depend on anyone or anything, then you're going to need access to all of it, which leads me to the future of money, the mighty, mighty DCX, which is all of our cryptocurrencies, right? And we're going crazy with the digital currencies right now, right? I don't know if y'all seen it. Did y'all see Snickers is now talking about promoting Dogecoin? Stop playing. Snickers. Okay? Can you imagine seeing a Snickers commercial saying they're accepting Dogecoin? Stop playing. Right? We're talking about the future of money. We're talking about 3 years ago when Bitcoin was what? Less than a couple thousand. Now it's at almost 60. Like, we talking about fast rates of return. Traditional financial markets like stocks is not going to give you the rate of return that you're going to find in any one of these three markets. And once you master these markets, being able to invest in the stock market, whether it be on short-term or long-term gains and investments, becomes easy. It all starts to make sense because we're actually talking about the life cycle of money. Sugar, I'm the type of individual where I want to know everything that there is to know about money, where it comes from, how I can use it right now, and what ideas they got for it in the future, because I want to be part of that 4%, right? That 5%. That's controlling 95% of all of the world's wealth. Now, for me, I need to be on the right side of money. I've been rich and I've been poor, and truth is told, I'd rather be rich. I don't know about you. Drop some fires in the chat if you prefer to be rich, because that's where we're going by the end of the 52 weeks, especially if we follow this trading plan. All right, sugar, so that brings me to where we starting. This is where we're going to start. We're going to start with Forex because that's where we started. We have to start there, right? I prefer to start there because it's where my foundation comes from. When I started, all we had was Forex. All we had was the harmonic scanner and Go Live, which was IML TV, and it didn't even have all of the educators, right, that we have now. So for me, Forex is the foundation for where we are going to be in the future. Right? Now, the importance of this is Forex is teaching us how to visually look at a chart, right? And be able to tell how far price has moved over the course of time. And I use this example just because it's letting you know that we're actually using an investment of our choosing, right? And based on how far in distance that particular trade goes will determine our outcome or our profit. which is what we're going to get to tonight. All right, sugar. Here, let me move this out of my way. Let me see. Can I move this thing out of my way? I want to. Yeah, I think. Can y'all still see everything on the screen? Or is it just me?
Yes.
See it?
Okay, here, that's better. That's out of my way. All right, cool. So, we trade into withdrawal, not just trading the trade. The whole purpose of learning how to trade is to go to 6 figures at minimum, right? And the way that we're going to do that is by growing our account by 50% each week. All right, sugar. So you asking yourself, all right, so how do we do this? We start an account with $100. By the end of the week, it should be at $150. Now, this year we're doing things a little different. For the last 2 years, I left it up to you to figure out how much you were going to withdraw, whether or not you were going to withdraw, when you were going to withdraw, right? I gave you some options, some freedoms. This year, nah, we're going to be more structured with this thing, right? The reason why we're going to do it this way is because we have to learn patience and discipline, and the only way to do that is to hold each other accountable. So, each Friday, you will withdraw something. And it's already broken out for you. So, week 1, we're going to start with $100. At the end of the week, our trading account should be $150. We're going to withdraw $15. I like to call that Free Me Fridays. Because every Friday, you're going to withdraw something to put yourself in a position to free yourself. Now, you got the option. You can use that money that you collect every Friday, and you can treat yourself. Not cheat yourself, sugar. Or you can decide that I'm going to build my own bank, and I'm going to stack that money. And if you decide to do that, then in 4 weeks, your trading account will have $369.06. You will withdraw on that Friday $36.91. And if you've been saving all month, then you will have made your $100 investment back. So you see, sugar, if you start with $100, in 4 weeks, not only do you get your $100 back, but now you have $370 in a trading account, which is all profit, all return on your investment to reinvest in yourself so that we can continue to grow this account every week by 50%. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
excited.
I'm loving the breakdown of the risk levels, lady. Fantastic.
Yes. So this year I wanted to make sure that we did things accordingly, right? You start your account at $100. We know what the proper risk management is, but we also know at that small of a investment, it's going to take us a lot longer to get to where we want to go unless we become more risky. Now, if you're not a risky type of individual, stay with the proper risk. But you know it's going to take you 125 pips in order to make your daily goal of $12.50. Because we're trading 4 days out of the week, typically. All right, here's a question, sugar. What 2 days out of the week should we not be trading? Anybody know?
Monday and Friday.
Sunday.
Monday and Friday.
The weekend,
Monday and Friday.
Monday and Friday.
Monday,
I heard
Friday.
one correct answer and everybody and all of the rest of it was wrong. All of y'all
Weekend.
had one answer
Sunday
right.
and Monday.
Say what?
Monday and Saturday.
Wait, stop.
Sunday and Saturday. excuse
Everybody
me.
stop talking. Stop talking. I want
Saturday and
y'all
Sunday.
unmute yourself. Tell me who you are, and then tell me your answer, and I'll tell you yes or no.
This
This
is
is
Andrea.
Tony, Saturday and Sunday.
Say it again.
Cassandra, Monday and Saturday.
No.
Brian, Friday.
Saturday and Sunday.
No.
This is Andrea, the weekend. Saturday and
Right.
Sunday.
Right, serious. We should be able to
Sunday
trade
and
every
Monday.
day.
No.
We should be able to trade every day.
No.
Davinia, Monday and Friday.
No.
Natasha from Barbados,
Sunday and
Monday.
Ooh,
Sunday.
I heard Barbados.
Sunday and
Barbados. Stop. Who's Barbados?
Natasha.
Natasha, say it again.
Sunday and Friday.
Sunday and Friday. Sunday and Friday. Write it down. Sunday and Friday, you should not be trading. Why?
NFT.
Opens on Sunday and the market closes on Friday. Ain't nothing cracking, or it's too volatile.
Okay, so here, let me give y'all the nugget. On Sunday, the market makers are making up for their losses from the previous week, which means they will continually fake you out and collect your bag. On Friday, they are making up for the losses of the current week, which means they will fake you out and collect your bag. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Understood.
Can you repeat that one more time, Jacqueline?
Nope. Yep. On Sunday, right? The market makers, and we're going to talk about this as the 52 weeks goes along. And you're going to start to recognize this as you start to practice in the market. There are going to be times where you are going to have a perfect analysis. The scanner will have a perfect analysis. Your educators from Go Live will have a perfect analysis. And yet the market will go in the opposite direction. Why? Because there are extenuating circumstances that manipulate the market, which we call market makers, which we call market manipulation. And the days in which they manipulate the market the most is on Sundays and Fridays, because on Sunday, the market opens up for Forex. And on Friday, the market is closing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Now, this is for Forex. That does not mean you can't trade HFX on the weekends or on those other days. It does not mean that you can't trade DCX on the weekends or those other days. However, keep in mind that when trading HFX, you are still inadvertently trading Forex, which is why you need to understand what is happening. What's happening, sugar? Why is it that Forex is closed on the weekends and yet you can still trade those pairs through HFX during that same time period? The reason why is because technically the market is not closed. You, me, and everybody else is still buying and selling things every day, all day. That don't stop. Rain, sleet, snow, shine, don't matter. Somebody is buying and selling something. The reason Forex closes on Fridays and opens on Sunday is because your broker closes. Your brokers are not on the clock. They're in order to take your order. And because they can't take your order, you can't place an order, and so you can't trade. But with HFX, those particular brokers are open on the weekend, which allows you to trade those currencies. Does that make sense, Sugar?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, but the question is, are they still getting your bag?
Depends, which is why it becomes more risky on the weekends. That's where you have to be more advanced. You have to learn and practice the process, right? Develop the skill set to be able to recognize the structure in the market so that you can see when the fake outs are coming. Protect yourselves. Recognize when there has been a violation in structure so that you can simply recuperate from the loss, accept the lesson, readjust yourself. Since you know it just made a break, look for the retest and trade in the opposite direction.
Right, but didn't you say even the best educators and the best software could still give you the best pairs and they could still get you? So wouldn't
Yes,
it be
they
best
can.
just not to do it?
They can get you during the week, Sugar. The thing is, that's the reason why we can't say that any of this is 100%. I can get close to 100%, but there are going to be some times when the market makers, let me put it to you like this. Have you ever heard of the analogy big bank take little bank?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Big bank, take little bank.
Right?
Just said it the other day.
So if the market makers, right, and we'll talk about who those people are, right, when I say that, when the market makers are moving 6.6 to $7.6 trillion every single day in the marketplace, then you investing $100 is not impacting or influencing the market in any way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if they decide that they want the market to sell all week, then they'll make it sell all week. You just have to know what to look for, which is what we're going to teach you in the 52-week, Sugar. I know right now we only on class 2 and all of this information sounds like a foreign language, but as you continue to plug into your academies, plug into your study groups, and then plug into these classes, it's going to start to make sense. The reason why I'm sharing this information with you now is because I want you to start becoming accustomed to not only the information, the education, the vocabulary, but I want you to have some structure and foundation as we continue to move forward. Because I'm getting ready to show you how to use the harmonic scanner. I'm also going to introduce you to my strategy, the Milwaukee Sauce. But it don't make sense to show you how to trade if you don't have the foundation in order to know what you need to make in order to be successful. Because trading, and constantly funding accounts and not actually seeing any reward, right, to this is ludicrous. You're going to be sad, angry, and mad as hell at yourself, watching everybody else succeed. If you don't tap in and take this serious, right, and utilize the support that you have through the team, which is the reason why we created the 52 weeks, to make sure that you have that added extra support that you're gonna need so that you have these questions. But I know right now everybody got a whole lot of questions, but it's gonna start to make sense. So week 1, you start with $100. You want to play it safe? You're gonna use a 0.01 lot size, right? Your goal for that day is $12.50. And you're going to continue to just stack that money on top of itself in that trading account, building it until on Friday, you end up with $150. Now, you want to be a little bit more risky depending on what type of person you are, what your personality is like. And that is going to be one of the things that you're going to learn about yourself throughout this process. Are you risky? Are you greedy? Right? Are you patient? Are you disciplined? If not, you're going to get tested. If you are, it's going to strengthen it and secure it and support it. Right? But all of this and your success is solely dependent on you, sugar. You have to place the trade. You have to do your homework. You have to plug in the Go Live. You have to plug into your academy an hour to an hour and a half every day. And if you ain't comfortable trading this live yet, then run the plan in demo. What you do in demo, you can do in live. What you're working on when you're playing in demo is your mindset, your emotional intelligence, because this is 10% skill set. Hell, the strategies, the tools and technology are doing the majority of the work. If you tap into Go Live, the educators are giving you the answers. This is the first time you receive a cheat sheet and you get paid to cheat. But you have to actually experience this. You have to experience what it's like to lose $100 and learn from that lesson. Because I don't teach this as losses. We're learning lessons every time something goes against our analysis. Remember, this is like a hypothesis, like a science fair project. I take a look at the market based on the education and the information that I have. I make a hypothesis, an educated guess. And if it goes in the direction that I think it's going to go, then I'm rewarded substantially. And if not, then I learn a lesson. My mama always told me a bought lesson is the best lesson because it costs your ass so much. You ain't gonna do that no more. Right? Once you learn the lesson, then you move on, dust yourself off, and keep it moving. All right, sugar. So I need y'all to pay attention because as we continue to build this thing each week, we just gonna keep building the lot sizes. So as our account size grows, our lot sizes grow, so our daily goal grows. So we have more access to income every Friday to do what we want. And in the end, build your own bank. Because Chad is always telling us we going to the beach and the bank, baby. And the only way we going to get there is through compounding interest every single day. Einstein said that. All right, sugar. So let's just get on to the meat and potatoes. You can run this plan through taking trades through the educators if you want. You can plug in to Go Live, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Swipe coins, swipe trades, any one of the strategies, right? DeLorean, because we plugged into that with ketchup and mustard. If you're using Gold Cup, harmonics. Now, you all know I start everybody on harmonics because it is our training wheels to trading. So that's where we start. And that's where we going. All right, so let's get there. All right. Who on the call is familiar with the scanner?
I am.
Question.
I
Who's
see.
not familiar? Who's not familiar? Probably plenty of y'all familiar.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not. I know how to get there, but I'm not.
I'm familiar.
I'm not a user.
Okay. So we got at least one person on here who don't know how to use it at all. Is that right?
I don't know how to use it.
I don't either.
All right. So we got some newbies. Oh, okay. Sugar, this is even better. All right. So this is better. This works for me too. All right, y'all. This is our harmonic scanner. Let me move it down here. All right. Here, let me mute the line so that everybody can hear me. Yep. All right, cool. All right. This is our harmonic scanner. The harmonic scanner is our flagship product. It is, right, Christopher Terry's baby. He created it to help all of us learn how to trade and become master traders, to become profitable in the market. I refer to it as our training wheels to trade. Why? Because it teaches you everything that you need to know. It's going to teach you support and resistance, supply and demand, right? It teaches you trend lines and trends, right? It tells you how to read an order, how to place an entry, take profit, stop loss, teach your vocabulary, right? It goes in depth. It should be your starting point, because it is 88 to 89% accurate. What does that mean, sugar? It means that if you come in here every single week and you placed 10 trades, you would win 8 or 9 of the 10 trades just on default, just the way you see it on my screen right now. You ain't got to think about it. You ain't got to do really no analysis. The only thing you got to do, sugar, is be able to play a game. And for those individuals that have been with me for quite some time, know the game that we like to play. And for those of you who don't, we like to play a little game around here called Where's the D? Right? It's because once you know where that D is, sugar, then you know which direction the market is going to go in, or at least which direction the scanner is predicting it's going to go in. And as you see, it's moving right now in real time, right? So if the D is on the top, it is always and forever will be a sell. Because it is instructing you to get in at the entries and to secure and take your bag at each one of the take profits. And if you notice on this particular scan, not only does it give you one entry, but it gives you 2. So with this particular pattern, it doesn't just give you 3 setups, it gives you a total of 6. Does everybody see that, sugar?
Yep, I see it.
Yes.
Right? Now, how
D on the top.
easy
You see it.
was that?
Can you
And if
break
we
that
watching
down?
this,
What are the 6? From each entry to
each take profit.
each take profit? Okay.
Yes, because when you place a trade, you can put in 1 entry and 1 take profit at a time. Right? Now, what it's also telling you is that you could potentially run one long trade, right? And collect all 3 on one trade, or giving you 2 possible longer trades. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. Yes, no. Yes, yes.
Yes.
So basically what I'm saying is, if you take the entry and you're going to run it to all 3, then you need to trail stop it to protect your bag. Otherwise, it's giving you a different trade for each take profit. Does that make sense?
Trail stop means to move your stop loss to the current take profit, correct?
Yes, or move it into profit.
And
So-
when we are doing that,
Mhm.
or when we're doing the different entries with the 3 different take profits,
Yep,
we need to adjust our lot sizes also as well, correct?
you can. You can also adjust your stop loss, right? You see that? Because if you place in multiple entries, right, you got to make sure that you're taking into consideration your stop loss. And we get into all of those more details when we start getting into taking trades. I just wanted y'all to see, right, and understand what the scanner is basically telling you. All it's saying is get in at the entry. If the market goes in the opposite direction of what the scanner is predicting, put in a stop loss to protect your investment, so you will only risk or lose this much. And then secure your take profits at each one of these levels. Now, as a beginner, a new study buddy, I always encourage you to focus on TP1 first. Why? Because it's going to hit TP1 before it hits 3. And it might not necessarily come all the way down to 3. But you got a better chance of it always hitting 1. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. Look.
Quick question.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm looking at 2 entry points. Does that what does that dictate? Because you said that the D is the entry point, but I'm seeing 2 different entry points. So how can I dictate which ones?
So basically what it's saying, right? You have to keep in mind the scanner is giving you, right, areas in which it says that in the past the market has had a lot of activity. And so the scanner has built in each one of these different levels, giving you a possible take profit, entry, and stop loss, right? But they're just estimated areas, right? So what the scanner is saying is that based on what has happened in the past, right, the amount of activity that has been in these various areas previously, that the market could potentially come back to this area and give us some action. Not saying that it will, but it could, right? But it's 89% accurate. Now, it's also saying that on this one particular pattern, here's a nugget. And I hope y'all taking notes, because note takers is money makers, and it's the only pattern that has 2 entries. Which pattern is this pattern? Can anybody tell me?
Shark pattern.
Right? So if you notice, the shark pattern is the only pattern that will ever give you 2 entries. meaning it gives you a more conservative entry and it gives you a more volatile entry, right? It could potentially pull all the way back up to that second entry. Then again, it might just stay around that first entry. The shark pattern is the one that you have to take into consideration, because if your stop loss is not in the proper place, it will hit your stop loss, kick you out, and then still do the move. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And if you notice, it's getting ready to hit TP1 right now. And if you notice, it never really went to the entry, to either one of them, did it?
That's so true.
Okay, so keep that in mind. Hold that thought. I'll come back to that in a minute. All right, so check it out. What is happening is the harmonic scanner. If you notice down here, it says chart by trading view. Everybody see that? Chart by trading view. So what is happening here is Christopher Terry created a program, an algorithm, which actually scans trading view for you based on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different brokers looking for harmonic patterns in the market. It's looking for these patterns because once it recognizes the patterns, it's going to alert us that there is a possible or a potential setup coming, which is going to give us an opportunity to get the bag. Right?
Jacqueline, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. You said that the entry, like it never hit the entry, but when it went up on the blue candle to the D and pulled back, would that have been your entry on the pullback from that? You see on that wick where the D is?
Yep.
Would I have been able to get in on that candle when it pulled back to that entry mark?
No, and that's a great question. Why? The reason why is because we don't trade the D candle.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
There's another nugget.
Yes, that is.
Why don't we trade the D candle? Do you know?
No, I don't.
Does anybody know?
Because we needed to complete the pattern so we know which way
It's
it's
an
going.
indicator. Yeah, it's
Yes.
an indicator.
Who said that? Complete the pattern.
Andrea.
Yes, sugar. You needed to complete the pattern. If you try and trade on the D candle, there are times when you're going to try and jump in prematurely and
Right.
that entire pattern will shift up or down. Right? So we never trade the D candle. We wait until that D candle has finished forming, right? Confirming the pattern. We got to make sure that we seeing the pattern for what it really is, because you got to remember, the market is alive. It is moving. It is energy. It's constantly in a constant state of motion. So if you jump in prematurely, then you will think that it's going in one direction, and in actuality, it will shift in another, which is probably what happened to a lot of people that were trading to the upside in this candle. They probably thought it was going to continue to go up further, and then it got to a certain level, found itself some resistance, right? Because there were more sellers in the market. The sellers entered to market at that area, kicking the buyers out, pushing the market back down, and then the sellers took over. Y'all see that?
I have, which leads me to another question.
Yeah.
So after that candle finished and the next candle came out and it was red, would I be able to get in at the top of that red candle on the next candle?
Oh, sugar, good question. Hold the question, let's get there.
Okay, all right.
All right. But as you all are noticing, there are times when the market is going to do the move. And we're going to see some of that because I want to show y'all it. What market setups that have already happened. So you can see what I'm talking about.
I see you in real time. This computer lags. That's the reason why I always go on like.
But then they never. Oh, let me
see
mute.
you in real time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Boom. There we go. Mute everybody. All right. So check it out. So you know the shark is the only one that's got the 2 entries. Look at a different one. Here's a different pattern. Look at that pattern, right? Check that one out. It never got to the entry either. But it still did the move. It still went down to TP1. Actually went past it, giving you 32, almost 33 pips in 2 hours. That's our goal for the day. We done. And now it's consolidating. And it's consolidated for the last 9 hours. Who the hell wants to be in consolidation for 9 hours? Not I. All right, check this one out. Silver. Look, because I hope y'all didn't think the scanner was sleeping and just was only calling out Forex pairs. No, we call out silver and gold too, sugar. Right? So you want some commodities? We get you some of that money too. We're going to teach you how to trade that too. I told y'all this is training wheels. Now check out silver. Silver is a shark. It started its run all the way down here at TP1. So in actuality, TP1 was a better entry than the entries that the scanner called. Do y'all see that? Right? Ooh.
Yes, because the first candle wicked up your 2D.
How many pips is that?
So you could have done TP1 and made TP2 your take profit 1?
Yeah, why not? If you would have caught it and saw it. How many pips is that? 5,230 pips, almost 31 pips in 6 hours and 30 minutes. How many weeks up is that?
That's like the whole 52 weeks looking. Depending on your lot size.
In one day.
And you can do
That's what
all
I'm
3
talking
trades and do all 3 take profit points and make money 3 times on this.
Why not?
No, I said you could.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's my baby. That's why I tell people, if you sleeping on the scanner, you sleeping. You ain't trading. You copying. I'm a trader. I can see these patterns without the scanner because I done looked at the scanner enough to see the patterns. But check it out. It's crazy. Look, check it out. Here goes some more patterns. Look at these patterns. Oh, look at this one. Here's the cipher. Oh, the cipher. We're going to talk about the cipher here. All right, because the cipher is my favorite. It is my favorite. It is my favorite because I follow one of the I am, the Go Live educator, the GOAT himself, Mr. Orrin, right? Right? Because we trade the right way. Right? And we all know that you got to graduate from the scanner and transition to levels, which is going to teach you nothing more than the head and shoulders pattern, which is our mighty, mighty cipher. So I like to focus on the cipher. So a lot of times when I'm calling signals or I'm marking up charts, I'm usually looking for cipher patterns. All right, there's a nugget. So check it out, look. And look at them. They still doing the moves. They ain't necessarily hit the entry, but they definitely doing the moves. Look at this one. Look at that one. Now look at that
Another
one.
quick question. Is the 30-minute your favorite to look for your entries?
No.
Okay.
So for me, I am what you would call, or some people would like to put into the box of an intraday or trend trader, because I typically am looking for setups on the hour and 4-hour chart, right? Because I know the market makers are monitoring the 4-hour chart, right? And the 1-hour chart. They're doing their analysis on the 4-hour, and they're looking for their entries on the 1-hour, and so am I. So for me, I look for trades that will last all week. I want to know if my pair is going to sell all week, and how many pips is that pair going to give me all week. Which is why in this 52 weeks, you're going to learn a concept that I teach called the ATR, which is the average true range, which will teach you how many pips does each pair give out on a weekly basis, typically, so that I know once I figure out which direction the trend is going to go in on a weekly basis, then I can trade that pair moving in that direction for that amount of pips. Right?
Love it.
So that is typically the type of trader I am if I was to be put into a box. However, if I was to classify myself, I would say I was a market maker because I can trade it all. I can trade HFX, I can trade Forex, I can trade DCX, right? Don't matter. Money is money. And I've gotten to a point where now I like to see it all. All right, so boom. Oh, that cipher was beautiful. That was a beautiful 2-for-1. Y'all see that? Oh, that was lovely. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so back to the point. When using the scanner, you can trade any one of the 9 brokers. I typically tell people to start with the broker that you have, if you have one of these 9s. And if you notice, most of you, if you started with a demo account, most of you got set up with a Hugo's Way account. Why? Because Hugo's Way is on the scanner, right? It might not give you the best, you know what I'm saying, as far as spread is concerned, right? There might be some better brokers out there that you like, that fit your preference. But for the sake of learning how to do this, get the experience of getting your feet wet, Hugo's Way is going to give you access to be able to trade Forex. It's going to give you access to trade the cryptos, the indices, right? And some of the other brokers will not. And it's found on the scanner. So there is no reason that you should be saying that I don't know, I can't seem to make any money, right? Or I don't know where to go to get some trade ideas. When all you have to do is sign in to the scanner, click on Hugo's Way, and pick any one of the time frames. If you want to move at a faster rate, look at the 15-minute chart. You have to remember, each one of the candlesticks represents the time frame that you on. So if you're on the 15-minute chart, each candlestick represents how far price has moved in 15 minutes, which means that trade could potentially move faster. If you're looking at a trade that is on the hour chart, then that particular scan could take a lot longer, right? Depending on which one you decided to jump in on. Look at that. So in 15 minutes, you could have got a 4-hour trade. And in an hour, it would have took you a day and 16 hours. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Which brings me back to patience and discipline, which is what you're going to learn about yourself, which is going to play a role into which pair you decide to pick to become your primary pair. Because you need to know, does this pair move fast? How many pips is it going to give me every day or every week? If I got a 30 pip goal for a day, or if I got a 150 pip goal in a week, and my pair only gives me 100 pips in a week, I'm never going to make my goal. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. At ADR.
But if I know that my pair gives me anywhere from 400 to 500 pips every single week faithfully, if I have the perfect entry, and I know which direction that pair is moving in all week long, and I'm able to run that trade and collect 4, possibly 500 pips in a week, how many weeks am I up? And I only need 150 in a week? 2, 3 possible weeks ahead of schedule? Don't overthink this. Keep it simple. It's trading made easy. We ain't walked away from no 9 to 5 to sit in front of a computer screen for hours on end trying to figure out which direction it's gonna go. No. You copy, you paste, you profit. You set it, you forget it. You come back, you decide and determine whether or not it went in your favor or not. If it didn't, you figure out why. Learn from it and move on. If it did, you celebrate it and you keep it moving. It's just that easy. It's a psychological game that you have to play in order to beat the market. That's all this is. All right. Now, y'all got questions? Are we good so far?
So you prefer to trade, you prefer to do the week trade?
So, Sugar, as we going through this process, this is going to build on itself. So, for example, this week I'm going to give you how to use the scanner. I'm going to introduce you to my strategy, the Milwaukee sauce, so that for this next week, you can be using the scanner, using my Milwaukee sauce, and playing with it to get a feel for it, right? Next week, we're going to start building on top of that. And each week, I'll add a little bit more sauce on top of it so that it'll start to make sense. And as we go through the process, each week, some of you will start to have aha moments. Some will have them at different times than others. But eventually, you will all have the exact same aha moments where you will start to have put all of the pieces together so that you can trade this yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you define what Milwaukee sauce is, please?
Yep, I'm going to show you right now. Sugar, check it out. So when I started, this is what we had. We had the scanner, right? And like I said, it's 88, 89% accurate. Meaning typically all you got to do is come in here, you log in, you find your broker. Once you find your broker, I start with the hour time frame. And I start looking at the different setups. Now, here's a nugget. The most recent scan, the most current scan is the very first scan of the time frame. See that? As you go down the list, the older the scan is, right? So what I do is I simply come in here, I start on the hour, and I start scanning them, looking for potential setups. First thing I want to know is this. First thing I want to know is it still on the D? Is the D still moving? And has it already done the move? It's not on the D. And it's currently right at the entry. So this is possibly still a good setup, right? Next thing I do, I start looking at each one of the time frames, because you need 3 or more confirmations in order to place a trade. The benefit of the scanner is, and one thing that I use it for, is to look for that particular pair on multiple time frames, calling for the same trade, moving in the same direction. So this is EURJPY looking for a sell. On the 30-minute, EURJPY looking for a sell. On the 15-minute, EURJPY looking for a sell. On the 4-hour, it ain't there. On the daily, it ain't there. So on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the hour, it's all calling for a sell. No, I take that back. It took it from me, didn't it? No, that's right. Yeah, it's calling for a sell on all 3 time frames. Y'all see that? Everybody saw that? Yes? Yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
So that's the first thing.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Where did it not show?
Where did the what show?
You said that on the hour and on the daily, it did not show.
On the 4-hour. So see this, see right here, see up here? It says M15, M30, hour 1, H4D. You see those above Hugo's Way? Where my cursor is?
Yep.
Yes. So what's happening is the scanner is calling signals on all 5 time frames on all 9 brokers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm doing is I'm going from, if you notice,
Great thing. You start Monday.
I'll show you.
I'm sorry.
Here you go. So look, here's the 15-minute. You see it's highlighted, 15-minute. These are all of the scans that the scanner is picking up or did pick up on Hugo's Way on the 15-minute. EURJPY is the current scan. EURJPY, 15-minute, Hugo's Way. See that? When I click on M30, now it gives me all of the scans on a 30-minute chart, right? And EURJPY is at the top of the list. So I click on it. Now this is the current and active scan on EURJPY on a 30-minute chart, Hugo's Way, still moving for a sale. So 15-minute, 30-minute, moving same direction, same scan, confirmation. Here's the hour. EURJPY, still a sharp. EURJPY, yeah.
Is it possible to have a different broker on a different time frame, but the same pair moving in the same direction?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to keep in mind that when you're looking at different brokers, their spread is different, which means your entry and your exit numbers might be different, right?
Okay.
So you have to just be careful when, and I'll tell you this, certain brokers are either moving faster or slower than others. So typically you want to be looking at the broker that is in relationship to the one that you're trading in MetaTrader 4. So that what you see as an analysis is the same chart that you're seeing when you trade.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, like I said, you can look at all of the scans because I do. I will scan all 9 brokers. But I also will make sure that I'm looking for it to have some complement or confirmation with what broker I'm actually looking at. Because sometimes you might find a broker might be a candle faster, like their candle might have actually showed up before your current candle. So they might be moving at a faster pace. Sometimes it's slower pace. Sometimes it might just be where their entry numbers or their take profit and stop loss numbers are slightly different because of the spread.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that you keep in mind. So that's one thing that I do. It's the first thing that I do is I'm looking for the proper pair or a pair, right, that I'm interested in looking at and possibly considering to place the trade. Because sugar, I look for quality trades, not a number of quantity trades. So I might not place a whole lot of trades, but I might make up more pips than someone that places more trades than me. Does that make sense?
Yes. Jacqueline, I have a question.
Can I see that?
Yep, go ahead.
So do you use this harmonic scanner to swing trade? Like you'll enter a trade on Tuesday and maybe it'll be hit your take profit 1, 2, 3 on Friday or Saturday or whatnot?
Depends on the pair. Sometimes the scanner will call multiple trades on a pair throughout the week. So you might be able to catch up and down, up and down, up and down throughout the week.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Depending on the pair. And it'll start to come together as we start to do it. All right.
Does. It makes sense.
Hey, Jack, can I look real quick at the 4 hour?
Yeah.
Just want to see
the pairs that were there.
Mm-hmm.
So like here, let's just look at this one.
Okay.
EURAUD. How long did it take to do this? So from here to there was a day and 16 hours. Let's see, GBP odd might have been a longer one. Let's see. So right now, GBP odd has been running 26 days. That's 449 pips on a 4-hour chart. You have to have patience and discipline to be able to place a trade 26 days ago and hold it this long.
Right.
Right? But there are traders that do it. Right?
But it never hit your stop loss. It never pulled that far back.
Nope. And if you notice, you had opportunities to catch it in multiple runs. You could have caught it here, up to here. You could have jumped in at this entry and then caught it up here, right? You could have caught that and then waited for it to come back down here again and run it all the way back up here. That's in 8 days, another 279, right? You could have ran it back down That's another 263 in 3 days. Run it back up. It's another 2 days, 400 pips. You know what I'm saying? That's where you got to know what your goal is, because that's where the greed is going to come in. If you know that these pairs are giving out that many pips, you tend to want to chase the market. And next week, we'll start getting into our rules and all of those things as we start really diving in. All right. So now, which brings me back to the point. There are some instances, right, at 20% in which the market won't come back to the entry, right? It won't even touch the entry, but it'll still do the move, right? And we've seen that on several examples this evening. There are some that it does it spot on. It comes right to the entry. All you had to do was simply copy, paste, and profit. 4 days later, 179 pips, right? But that's on a 4-hour chart. Most new traders aren't trading 4-hour charts. Take too long. The emotional roller coaster, you're not going to be able to withstand. So you're really starting at a 1-hour chart, looking for how long a trade might potentially last all day. And then you're looking for an entry possibly on a 15-minute. Because the way that you want to look at this is we're looking at a mural on the higher time frame, and then we zoom in to a specific section of the painting when we're looking at a smaller time frame. Does that make sense?
Love it. Yep, I love it. I'm getting all excited because it makes sense.
All right, now I'm gonna show y'all how I trade this. Let's see if I can find one. Here, let's find that. Here's a cipher. This is even better because I'm gonna mark it up and I'm gonna put the sauce on it. So there's a couple of things that I do. I ain't even gonna go into all of that. I'm just gonna mark it up for the sake of time, and then I'm gonna show y'all the sauce on it since it's already moving. Then that way y'all get the gist of what's what.
Mama.
Hold on, baby.
You must dance.
Yep. I'm giving them the sauce right now.
Okay. What's the sauce?
The Milwaukee sauce. All right.
What you teaching them about?
Hold on, baby.
I just got shot by the corner. Did I get you? Let me get my bullet.
All right, check it out.
Be over there.
On a cipher always giving you a 2-for-1. And we're going to talk about it more because, like I said, it's one of my favorites, right? The cipher is going to tell you it's going to give you an up and it's going to give you a down, right? Oh, it went and didn't keep my marker. That's all right. All right, sugar, look. This is the original Milwaukee sauce. All right?
Yes, he did.
And basically, what it's doing is it's telling me that whenever there is going to be a trend or a run to the upside, I'm looking for the blue to be on top. And anytime it's running to the downside or doing a sell, I'm looking for the red to be on top. All right. So here, I'm going to show you one that's already did it. Like this one. Here. Right? So with the Milwaukee sauce, I realized that there were times when the market never came down to the entry, right? But it still did the move. And so there were times where I would have a pending order sitting here because the harmonic scanner is teaching you how to buy limits and sell limits, right? And because it's teaching you orders, there are times when you will place an order, put it at the entry, and the market never pulls back to it to kick you in order to activate the trade. And yet it still does the move, right? And if you notice, this particular trade did just that. And if you notice, this particular pair ran in consolidation basically around TP2 for quite some time. So it wasn't really until it got to this point here that it actually made any real move. All right, now, when I'm reading the Milwaukee Sauce, the way that I read this is, I get a cross, right? There's a cross that happens between these two indicators. And when that cross happens, I get an alert. And my alert will start to notify me to go take a look and see, is the blue on top or is the red on top? If the blue is on top, it says it's setting up for a buy. Blue on top, buy. If the red is on top, it says that it's setting up for a sell, right? So if you notice, the blue is on top, the blue is on top, the blue is on top. And if I ran it to the height of that run or that trend, it would give me 68.4 pips in 2 hours. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
All I did was got an alert telling me that these two crossed and that I needed to verify whether or not the blue was simultaneously on top. And everybody understands that. Yes, yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
How
Yes.
do you
Let's see
get
if
that
we see the
alert?
sale.
Quick.
Jacqueline, can I ask a quick question?
Yep, go ahead.
So if we go back to where you were just a little bit before,
Mm-hmm.
where that entry was, and I'm trying to explain this in the way that my brain understands it. So the harmonics gave a indicator or suggestion of an entry point.
Right.
And so let's say you followed that and you put that entry point in there, you put your stop loss and everything, never activated.
Never activated.
Never activated. But
No,
then
still sitting there.
it's just sitting there. But
Still
then
sitting there.
over time, whatever this time frame is, let's see, we're on the, what are we
15
on?
minutes.
We're on the 15-minute. So then somewhere,
So
as you
22
go-
hours and 15 minutes, it ran in consolidation.
right. So then 22 hours later, that entry's still sitting there.
Yeah.
But then you get an indication on your phone, and then at that point, it'll then say, here's an opportunity for you to take advantage of a range that you thought you were going to take advantage of 22 hours earlier that you could jump in and get a piece of.
Yes, only if you have the Milwaukee sauce.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So if you using the scanner and it's at default, the way that I showed you when we first started the call without my sauce on it, you will never know 22 hours later that a move is setting up or that is happening that you can take advantage of. You will just assume that this shit just didn't work. It never came back to my entry. I need to move on and look for something else.
I have a question.
Yep.
Okay, so you're fixing to show us how to set this or to have your Milwaukee sauce on our scanner like you do right now?
Yep. But I've made it better.
Sweet.
I have a question actually.
Yep.
How do you actually set alerts for the two crossing? I mean, I've set alerts for different places I want to be alerted at when it goes somewhere, but how do you actually get it to alert when those two indicators are crossing?
Yep, I'll show you that during the 52 weeks too.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Okay, so y'all see the cell. Here's an example of the cell because I want y'all to see this so you know what I'm looking for.
Hey, Sugar Jackie.
Yep, go
I
ahead.
got a question about concerning the alerts also.
Yep.
When I set the alerts, for some reason, I'll get an alert when it crosses, but it's like 4 or 5 candles later for some reason. Am I setting it wrong or something? Because I get the alerts when it crosses. It's just like not right at the time when it crosses.
Could be the way that you got the alert set up, or it could be the broker in relationship to your broker. You know what I'm saying? Could also be the time frame you got the alert set on. If your alert is set on a certain time frame, you know what I'm saying? It's only gonna give you the crosses on that time frame. So on each time frame, the cross might be different.
Right, I'm usually using it on the 15, and I think that might be the issue. It might be just the broker in relationship to TradingView. Can you select a broker on TradingView, or because I don't see where you can do that. I haven't seen that.
I use Owanda on TradingView.
How do you select a broker?
I'll show you. I'll get to it.
Cool, that'll work.
Yep. Okay, so this is what a sale setup would look like for the Milwaukee sauce, right? The red is now on top. I got an alert. It said, hey, go check it out. The cross just happened. Here go the red on top. Is the red on top? Is the red on top? Yes, it is. All the way down, right? If I caught it to the height of it, it's about 33, 34 pips in an hour and 45 minutes. Everybody see that? Right?
And just to make sure I understand, if once that cross is there and you can see that the red is on top, basically your entry point is now going to be where the scanner's TP1 is, and then you can take your take profit at any of the spots below, whether it's TP2 or TP3.
Correct. Now, I will tell you this. The Milwaukee sauce is not an order strategy. I don't place buy limits, sell limits, buy stops, sell stops. I do market execution because I'm watching the market in real time. Meaning, when I get the cross alert tells me that the last candle just crossed. Now I'm looking at the current candle being formed. I need to quickly make a decision based on my analysis by looking at the chart and saying, is the red on top sell? Is the blue on top buy? And I immediately hit market execution. I go back in and I modify to enter in my stop loss or my take profit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You
because
hit the button without. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
You hit the button without putting in the stops or take profit. You just go back and do that later so you can solidify your entry point.
Yes, because the market is moving. You got to remember, the market is moving so fast that if I hesitate or second guess myself, I could potentially miss the move. Or I could jump in too late and then the market reverses, right? And everybody else caught they pips and I didn't. Right? So for me, I got tired of placing orders and then it not coming up here. Or I got tired of sitting in, let's see if I find one. Or was that one? That might even been one. or sitting in consolidation, right? Getting an entry and then being stuck in consolidation for 2 days. Because I've had that happen too. Anybody had that happen? Get into a trade and then all of a sudden it's just stuck in this area for days, going up and down, in and out of profit, but never hitting stop loss, never hitting take profit, never really moving in any one direction. Right. That's an emotional roller coaster.
Just Harlem shaking in the middle.
Man,
I don't think I can handle that.
I can't
I'm still
handle that.
new.
Yeah.
I'm still new. So I'm like, give me
It
the
go
money
blue,
or
it
give
go
me
red,
out.
it go blue,
Yeah,
go red,
I
go
don't
blue,
like
go
that.
red.
And everybody got their own personal trading style, you know, your own personality or what have you. But me, I don't like that. And because I don't like that, and I've learned from experience, like, look at this one. Oh, this is ugly. Look how long this sucker stayed in consolidation all that time.
A lot of indecision.
It was a tug of war. That's what I call it. We're going to learn about that too. The tug of war, right? For 4 days and 10 hours. It did nothing.
Jackie, can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So if you put in your order, going back to this same thing again, put in your entry, nothing's been activated. You sitting there waiting in consolidation. Because you put that entry in, that is part of your leverage, right? So isn't that money still being held?
Mm-hmm. If it activated, if it didn't activate, then no.
Then no. Okay. Okay.
No. And so what I would do is if you see something like this happens, cancel that order.
Right.
Look for a new order. Sugar, you don't have to stay stuck in the order. You know what I'm saying? Just cancel it out. Okay, that didn't work. We're looking for something else. Look for another setup. Same thing if the market happens to go in the opposite direction of what you're trying to get into. If you saying it's going to buy and it sells, okay, look for a new entry. But all of that comes with emotional intelligence. That's going to come with time and practice. All right, so now, this is what the Milwaukee sauce used to look like, right? And I thought that it was easy enough. You just look for the crosses, right? And then you get in, you verify is the red on top, right? Because I told you, I try to make this thing easy, right? So I'm looking for ABCs, right? Because we like to play the game. Where's the D, right? We know this is 1, 2, 3s. This is some colors. Right? Some directions, up, down, side to side. We know we don't trade side to side. We're looking for these moves to be up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got some feedback that said, well, sometimes I don't really know where the cross happens. I'm not really sure. So then I said to myself, well, okay, well, how could I make this a little bit easier for them to see what I see when I'm looking for the cross, right? So then I decided, well, let's remix this thing. So ain't no point for me to give you the setup on how to set up the Milwaukee sauce the way it used to be. I might as well show you how the sauce is now. Y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a cross on top of the cross?
It definitely is.
Oh my God.
Look what you did.
She's what?
So, look at this brand new scan. This thing been running to the upside, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's now consolidating on this second entry. We waiting for the cross to tell us now that the red is on top to indicate that the sale or the sellers have taken over the strength of the market, moving the market in a downward direction. We still using the scanner to give us the confirmation of the trade. All I'm doing is using the sauce to perfect my entry. Right? So let's just see. Does it work? I want to see one that's already set up. Look how easy this is. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that, y'all. Y'all ain't ready for this. Look at this. Awesome. Look at that. Never went to the second entry. Never went to your stop loss. Look. There's your cross. And I draw the vertical line on it so I can see everything line up straight down. Look, it show you your pullback, possible new entry. Boom, off to the upside. Here go another entry. Possible another entry. Boom, another entry. Boom. Sell now, consolidates, and moves over. How many pips is that? From entry to take profit 3 at the height of it, 168.4 pips in 3 days and 17 hours. Who ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I need all of that.
So dang.
Boom, just like that, right?
Them plus signs are like dollar signs to me.
Let's go.
Right? Don't it make it so much clearer? I thought the picture was clear to begin with, but now you can't never ask me where the hell is the cross.
That cross, them crosses is protection points of entry.
Right? It lets you know if you're going to have, right, additional potential entries, right? If you want to add on additional trades for our advanced traders, right? Y'all ain't ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready to start having some blue parties around here.
Right? How easy is this? I'm teaching my kids, if you can recognize the M's and the W's, you know where the D is at, right? Blue is on top. Right, y'all? Come on now. It's so easy. It's so simple. It ain't that hard. You making it hard. You
Definitely
overthinking
ready
it.
to tune in. Definitely ready to tune in and see how to change my harmonic scanners to the colors I'm looking at right now.
You finna get it right now. Let's do it. All right, so we're gonna build it. I'll build it from scratch. Then that way y'all get it from scratch. Instead of me trying to show y'all how to do it off of my screen. Let's do it like that. Make it easier. What's the time, y'all? What am I working on?
9:59.
Oh, we
11
2 hours
o'clock.
in? Shit.
11 o'clock on the East Coast.
Oh, Lord, y'all. And it's 58 of y'all still on here. See? Dedication, commitment. See what I'm saying?
This is the most important part of our lives right now.
All right, check it out. This gold. Let's mark it up on gold.
So,
Yep,
so
go
Jackie,
ahead, Sugar.
I'm sorry. Now I'm sitting here looking at the old Milwaukee sauce that I put on mine from listening to some of the other trainings. Where do I just clear this?
He said, I'm about to scrap the sauce. I ain't mad at you, Sugar.
We need the new. We got to get
That
all the
was
new stuff.
hilarious. No, okay, so that was funny, Sugar. That made my day. Okay, listen, we gonna save it, and we just gonna save it as the remix, right? We gonna call this the remix. So for everybody that think they got their sauce, so when y'all get off this call, y'all can tell everybody y'all wasn't on this call, y'all ain't got that sauce, cause we got the remix. All right, so check it out. This is how we gonna build it. In order to make sure that you see, right, this thing clearly, you're gonna have to change your settings. Typically, we use in a white background, right? That's default. But the only way you're gonna be able to see them crosses is we're gonna have to change this. So I changed it to like this light gray, right? And then I took out all of our grid lines, so I made them the same gray, right? And you already know your candles is still gonna be your blue, your red, you know, your up candles is blue, your red candles is down, right? So we got like this tinted background, right? I also add the countdown to the bar close, which will tell me, once it resets, it'll basically tell me a countdown of how many minutes I have left in each one of the candles as we continue to build this thing, all right? And then we're gonna go through with building this thing. For the Milwaukee sauce, we use Hakanashi candles. We don't use traditional Japanese candlesticks. The Hakanashi candles are gonna show you the overall trend, right? And that's what we're looking for. Gives you a clearer, a prettier picture, eliminating all of that noise, I like to call it. All right? And then we start to build these indicators. The first indicator is a EMA. Is it that one? Nope. It's the EMA cross. It's this one. No, let me see. Wait, y'all. I think it's the EMA cross. Wait. Because I done changed it so many times to give y'all the right X. EMA cross. That's what it is. Yeah.
Should we be changing these as you do this?
Nope. You're going to get the recording. This is going to be recorded for you.
Nice.
So I've been playing with this thing, trying to make sure. All right, cool. EMAs. Yeah. So your MA is going to be 10. Your EMA is going to be 3. It's the same as the Milwaukee sauce. The only difference is instead of having your EMA and your MA separate as 2 different indicators, I found out that on the harmonic scanner, they have an indicator called the MA-EMA cross, which gives you the MA and the EMA together, right? And I found out that you can't get this specific indicator on TradingView outside of the scanner. So if you try and go to TradingView and get a subscription or a free subscription, whether it's paid or free, and look for this particular indicator, you won't find it. So the only way to get the Milwaukee sauce remix with the setup, the way that it currently is right now, with the MA-EMA cross, is on the scanner. Otherwise, you'll have to continue to use the Milwaukee sauce the same way we were using it in the past on your MT4 and on your other TradingView platform. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I have a question.
Okay.
So basically on the original Milwaukee sauce, not the remix,
yeah,
your crosses would be your red and blue line along with what you were looking down at the bottom. Is that why you took that vertical line all the way down to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So we look for the cross at the top first, and then we look for the other indicators to confirm the move, because they have to all be moving in the same direction.
Heard.
So when you're doing the setup for the remix on the scanner, You're using the MA, EMA cross, same inputs. Your EMA is still 3, your MA is still 10. Still the same color scheme. Your MA is still gonna be red, right? Now I like to use the thicker line because I want to be able to see it. Your EMA is going to be blue, right? Let's get it thicker, right? And then I make the crosses white so you can see them. And I make them as thick as they'll let them be, right? And then I want to bring it to the front through the visual order. So y'all see the crosses laying on top of it. Y'all see that? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Run that back again one more time.
Yes. You see him?
I didn't hear what I see it, but I didn't hear what you said. Run it back one more time.
The visual order for the EMA, MA cross, you want that to be in the front so that when I start to lay the other indicators on top of it, that's the one that's laying out top so that the crosses don't get covered by the other indicators. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Got it. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right, so that's your first series or your first indicator for the new setup, right? So that now you have that cross forming for you. Ooh, look at that run. That was a beautiful run. From here down to here, 78, 79 pips in 12 hours. Or you could have caught 85 in 5 hours and 30 minutes. And that's just on this cross. I ain't even put nothing else. Right? All right, so check it out. Here's the next indicator. It's another moving average. That moving average is 50. If you've been trading ketchup and mustard, it's your water. Right? Your water is the same thing as my yellow brick road or the gold line. Right? And then I keep the RSI, but I modify it. Okay, so here we go. Now the RSI is still 5, right? Your plot line, I still make it blue, but now I start creating what I call the street. And the street, I make red. Right? And I'm basically, here, let's make it thick so that y'all could see it. And then I fill it in. All right? I'll make the street on the RSI because the RSI is letting me know where there are levels or areas of consolidation. I know that if the market is in that red area, what we call the street, I know that it's in consolidation. I don't trade that. We call it the street. We make it red because we all know what mama told us. We don't play in the street because you're going to get your ass run over. They're going to take your bag. So in order to protect ourselves, we utilize an indicator, which is the RSI, which the scanner already uses at default. We just simply altered it slightly to give us the perspective that we need in order to see what we need to see in order for everything to align up correctly. All right. And then the last indicator is the MACD. And the MACD, we remove the histogram because as a new study buddy, it's about volume and you don't need to understand it just yet in order to be successful or profitable at this strategy. It is an extra confirmation as you continue to grow, right, and progress in your skill set. We keep the MACD line blue, and I always make them nice and bright, right, and thick so that you can see them. And there's no doubt, no question in your mind, because you got to remember, we're not here to place a whole lot of trade, sugar. You should only trade what you see. If it's not clear, if you don't see it, don't trade it. You don't have to trade every trade that the educators give you. You don't have to trade every trade that comes out through any of the apps. If you're not confident in your analysis, don't trade it.
Hey, I lost you for a second. Can you pull up the box again for the MACD real quick so I can look at it?
Yep. So the MACD is default. I don't change any of the inputs. You leave those the same. It's going to do what it's supposed to do. Right? Only thing you're doing is you're unchecking your histogram and darkening your two lines. That's it. Just so that you can see the picture clearly.
Got it.
And
All
the
right.
upper
Got it.
and lower limits on the
Got it.
RSI, because I got like a real fat Band-Aid looking one. So
They're 55 and 45. Yes. Because you want to be able to see this little thin streak.
Thank you. I got it.
Yep. Everybody got that?
Could you repeat that again?
Which one?
I saw the 45 and the 55. Was that 45 and 55?
Yep. And they red.
Hey, Jackie.
Yep.
Natasha. For the MACD, I missed the length was 12, the source was closed, and the other one was.
It's gonna be default. So when you load up the MACD on your computer, it's gonna be those numbers there. I didn't change those at all.
Okay, I think I had something on here before. So
Now, unless you've been using the MACD with some other strategy or what have you, your defaulted settings should be 12, 26, close, and 9.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Miss
And
Jackie, can you do the crosses? For some reason, mine are blue or purple, whatever the color that is. But
Purple.
it's not white.
It's purple. They start off purple. You see where it says, okay, so when you go to your settings for your indicator and you click on it under style, when you go to the crosses, just change the color. I made them white. And I played with all of the different colors. I mean, you could try purple. Purple don't really show up good. I done tried blues and pinks and I don't know. I've tried them all. White typically seems to look the best. That's the reason why I darkened up the screen to make it pop out at you. Everybody got that? Everybody got the setting.
How do you fill in that RSI? Fill in the red.
Oh, how do you fill in the street? See where it says H lines background?
Yep, gotcha. Thank you.
It's usually like I don't know, translucent or something. So I just make it red and then I just opacity. I don't know how you say that word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Just straighten it out, make it dark.
Can you remind us once again how to keep the crosses on top?
Yes. So you go to visual order on that indicator. And you want to click on bring to front or bring forward. So that that's the indicator that lays on top. Got it?
Yes, thanks.
Got it. And then on the MA, the source is closed, right? That's yes, closed.
Yep.
Cross and close. Yep, got it.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay.
Everybody got that?
Got it. What a beauty.
Okay.
I'm ready to save as, so I can add Milwaukee hot sauce from Vegas because it's hot over here.
Now you see it says over here in the corner, it says you can push this little cloud and click save, or you can push save over here on the arrow, and then it will give you the option to name it. And then I put in Milwaukee sauce. This version of it, I put it as the remix because it has the crosses on it. The other version doesn't, just in case. I'm looking at the previous version. But this is the way that I'm trading it now with the crosses on it. So I wanted you guys to have the new version of it. Once you save it, you click save, and then you'll be able to come back here to where it says load chart layout, and then just click on it. And every one of your charts will come up with that same setup.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is just simply click on them.
Can you show me real quick your yellow brick road or whatever you called it?
Yep. It's the 50. It's the same thing as the water for ketchup and mustard. If you've been trading ketchup and mustard, it's the water, which is the 50. Which is a very, very, very important indicator that
Can we put the mayo in there so we know if the dolphin is swimming up or below the mayo, which I coordinate with the bull or bearish trend?
If you want that, I'm not gonna use it when I'm teaching you how to use the sauce, but you can as you advance in your skill set as to what you see. Now, I do have some students who have basically created their own trading system by combining the Milwaukee sauce and ketchup and mustard. So I have seen that happen. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So now when I come back to so I went to the old Milwaukee sauce and then I come back to the new one. And now the scanner is not there.
Did you save it?
Let me see. So do harmonic scanner, come in, load
You
layout,
should be able to. Because this is the original.
load chart,
And then
remix.
this is
Okay.
remix.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Everybody got it?
This really, really makes it so easy to see.
For me. I'm hoping it made it easy for you too. Look
This
at that.
is a game changer.
Ooh, right? And then next week we'll start talking about looking at actual setups, what I'm looking for, those kinds of things. You can use the same setup on your cell phone, whether it be Android or Apple. The only thing, like I said, is you're going to have to continue to use the original Milwaukee sauce because you can't find that EMA cross indicator anywhere else but on this scanner. And I've looked. So you won't get those crosses, those little white crosses, unless you're on the scanner. So
If we
brings
have
us
to
back.
do that, where do we find the original setup for the Milwaukee sauce?
Oh, good question. Ask in your study groups.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
And they'll
you.
help
Okay, I
walk
have a
you through.
question.
Yep.
Okay, so for the original Milwaukee sauce, basically all you're doing is just taking out the crosses, right?
Yep. So basically it went from 5 indicators to 4 because I combined 2 indicators. Does that make sense?
Right. So in the original, the top indicator that is now on here, EMA is just EMA with the same settings.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So Jacqueline, just for the point of execution, because you keep speaking of where you can't get it and where you can get it. So just because I'm this type of a person, so then I only need to deal with this. If I only want to play the remix cross game, I just do it with harmonics open and execute from here. Is that correct?
Yes, if you want to see them little crosses.
Okay.
If you want to trade the Milwaukee sauce, you can trade the Milwaukee sauce on the other platforms as well. It's just not going to give you those little crosses. You'll have to see the crosses for yourself, if that makes sense.
And so now I'm ready to come in here and scan for the hour, 30 minute, and 15 and look for confirmation on a pair or my pair that I pick. I get and look for 3 confirmations and across the hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute, and then make my entry ideally on the 15 minute.
Yep.
And you better look for that cross.
You better look for that cross.
And you better make sure it complete the D. And if it didn't complete the D, then that's when we start looking for the little protection entries because it didn't hit our buy and sell limits, right?
Right. Okay. Just look for something else. Like, look at this one.
Okay.
It did the D. It pulled down. It faced some, some support. It's consolidating at this entry. It's pulling up. And we're waiting for it to pull back down to actually do the move. Y'all see that?
Yeah. See, this is why I want to add the Mayo, because I can use the yellow and the Mayo line to know if it's bullish or bearish, in addition to looking at the MA and the RSI that you got going.
Yes. And the reason why you say that, Sugar, is because most people start with the Milwaukee sauce and build up to ketchup and mustard.
Okay.
What happened is a lot of people started coming in with ketchup and mustard and are working their way back to the Milwaukee sauce. So you still gonna have the same aha moments. It's just which way you coming into the process. That's all.
I'm aha-ing all through this. I'm out of breath. I'm aha-ing so much.
So there you go. So y'all see that? That's what we're looking for. All right. I gave y'all a long class today. I didn't expect to give y'all that long, but hopefully y'all got some value from it.
Oh my God, so much sauce.
Sure. It was worth it.
Okay.
You sneezed all over me.
Well, hopefully y'all can at least use the information this week, right? Test it out, play with it, right? Make sure that you're plugging in to where you need to be so that we can all be successful, right? So study your academies. We want to do that every day, right? I'm still doing it. We know all of the leaders that have been so super successful are still doing it, right? Practice the sauce. Practice on the scanner. Hell, practice the scanner without the sauce and then with the sauce, just so you can see if it really makes a difference for you, right? Start working on trying to complete. Oh, boom. I just felt myself do it. Eliminate the T word. I feel like I got to do push-ups, Zinjas.
You absolutely do, because I heard.
Oh, my goodness. Right?
Don't get him in, girl. Don't get him in.
I heard it as I was saying it. You need to complete your first week trading plan, right? Because we're doers over here.
Come on.
You got to track your wins in each one of the lessons because documentation beats conversation. You're going to be jotting down your notes and any questions that you got because note takers are money makers. And as you can see, each one of these classes, we're going to continue to drop these jewels on y'all because we know that it's going to take some rules because there's rules to this shit. Y'all ain't ready. So next week we're gonna talk about what to trade, when to trade, because we know that there's a method to this money, and we ain't leaving no money on the table, right? Continue to review your 2 keys, because it takes courage and commitment in order to complete 52 weeks, right? But hell, you done dedicated 40 years, right? I'm sure you can put in another 52 weeks and count them down. We only got 50 left to go.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we have that trading plan?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna drop screenshots in the study groups when I drop the recording for the call.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Just thank you, Sugar, for the
No,
sauce.
that was our
Like,
question
this is
about
so
the trading
dope.
plan. Yeah, loving it.
All right, Sugar. Well, then y'all
Appreciate
know I
it.
love each and every one of y'all.
Thank you,
If y'all
Jackie.
got questions, make sure y'all drop them into y'all study groups. That is going to be your greatest support system. Me and the logistics teams are monitoring the group, so even if your study buddies can't help you, one of us can. And if we don't know the answer, we definitely going to find out for you. Was it a question? Anything else?
So when we're on the harmonic scanner, just make sure that it says, because like I was set up with my demo account where you go on MetaTrader 4, and I just want to make sure that those are the same, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, and I'll be ready and dry for some sauce so I can leave drenched, okay?
All right, Sugar. Well, we're going to get that bag next week because we're going to be looking at some setups and trying to start putting all this thing together. The first couple of weeks is just trying to get our feet wet and making sure we got the foundation, because once we start looking at these charts, we just going to start putting one thing on top of the other, on top of the other.
It's a wrap. Sorry. I'm
Thank you,
excited.
Sugar. Thank you.
Y'all have a good night from the West Coast.
All right. See y'all at the beach and the bank, baby. Good night, everybody.
Good
Bye,
night.
Sugar.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Sugar.